Right now, in homes across the world, over 1 billion dogs and cats are sleeping on furniture built for humans. We buy them birthday cakes. We spend billions of dollars every year on food, toys, and medicine for animals that will never repay us in any way evolution can measure. From a survival standpoint, none of this should exist. Thousands of years ago, somewhere in the cold forests of ancient Eurasia, a hungry wolf stepped toward a human fire. That single moment may have rewritten the future of 2 entirely different species. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Why would a group of starving hunter-gatherers with barely enough food for themselves choose to feed a wild predator? And why would that predator, built to fear humans, choose to stay? Nature runs on cost and benefit. Every calorie matters. Every risk has to pay off. So keeping an animal that eats your food, takes up space, and offers no meat, no labor, and no warning system makes almost no evolutionary sense. And yet, we did it anyway. Not once, not with one species, but over and over again across every continent, throughout all of human history. So who actually made the first move? For decades, the story was simple. Humans tamed the wolf. But then researchers looking closer at ancient wolf remains found something strange. The wolves living near early human camps weren't the boldest, strongest animals of the pack. They were the calmest, the least aggressive, the ones most tolerant of strangers, which raised an uncomfortable possibility. Maybe humans didn't choose the wolf at all. Maybe the wolf chose us. Some scientists now argue that the friendliest wolves simply lingered near human scraps, generation after generation, until natural selection quietly built a new animal out of patience alone. In other words, dogs may have domesticated themselves. To test whether personality alone could reshape a species, in 1959, a Russian geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev began an experiment that would take decades to reveal its answer. He bred silver foxes, choosing only the calmest individuals in each generation to reproduce. Nothing else, just friendliness. Within a few generations, something impossible started happening. The foxes' ears began to flop. Their tails started to curl. Their fur changed color. They began whimpering for attention like puppies. Selecting for one trait, friendliness, had somehow rewritten the entire animal, body, and mind. Which meant the same silent process could have shaped the wolf into the dog, without a single human ever intending it. But taming an animal is one thing. Loving it is something else entirely. So what happens inside a body when a human bonds with an animal that cannot speak a single word? Researchers studying human and dog interaction found something remarkable. When owners and dogs simply looked into each other's eyes, both species released oxytocin, the same hormone that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn child. Dogs had somehow tapped into a bonding system that evolution built for parents and children. Neuroscientist and evolutionary anthropologist Brian Hare found something equally strange. Dogs could read human pointing gestures almost instantly, understanding what a finger meant. Chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, mostly could not, which means, in some strange way, dogs may understand human communication better than animals far more closely related to us. But dogs weren't the only animals that moved into our homes. Cats followed an entirely different path. Wolves were pulled toward human food scraps. Cats were pulled toward something else. Rodents. Once humans began storing grain, mice appeared. And where mice gathered, wild cats followed. Cats didn't need us to survive. They simply found it useful to stay close. Some researchers argue cats never fully domesticated at all. They just learned to tolerate us while keeping most of their wild instincts intact. That difference may explain something every cat owner already suspects. Dogs adapted to serve us. Cats adapted to use us, on their own terms. But none of this explains the strangest mystery of all. Why does losing a pet often feel like losing a family member? Psychologist James Serpell has spent years studying the emotional bond between humans and animals, and his research suggests something surprising. The grief isn't irrational at all. It follows the same attachment patterns children form with parents. Our brains, it seems, never fully learned the difference between a bond with a person and a bond with an animal that depends on us completely. Anthropologist Pat Shipman proposed something even bigger. She argued that the ability to observe, predict, and care for other species may have given early humans a crucial advantage. Groups who understood animal behavior could track prey more effectively, avoid predators more skillfully, and eventually tame the very creatures that once threatened them. In her view, this connection with animals wasn't a side effect of intelligence. It may have helped shape human intelligence itself, which leads to an idea few people ever consider. We assume domestication is something humans did to animals. But evolutionary geneticist Gregor Larson and other researchers studying ancient DNA suggest domestication was never one-sided. As animals adapted to us, we adapted to them. Living alongside dogs may have reinforced human cooperation, patience, and empathy, traits our ancestors needed to raise these animals successfully across generations. And there's something almost poetic hidden in early burial sites. Archaeologists have uncovered graves over 12,000 years old, where humans were buried with their hands resting on a dog. Not a tool, not a weapon, a companion. Even in death, ancient humans wanted this bond to continue. So maybe the real question was never simply why humans keep pets. Maybe the deeper mystery is why animals were willing to trust us at all, and why that trust ended up reshaping both species forever. We didn't just gain loyal companions. We built entire emotional systems around creatures who cannot speak our language, yet somehow understand our feelings better than most humans do. Maybe the greatest thing humans ever domesticated wasn't the wolf, or the fox, or the wandering cat that followed the grain stores. Maybe it was something inside ourselves, the quiet ancient instinct to care for another living thing, simply because it needed us, and perhaps that instinct, more than any tool or weapon, is what truly made us human.